It is true, isn't it, that every girl fancies Sidharth Malhotra? Have you met a girl who doesn't fancy Sidharth Malhotra?
I don't know. I think it started off with just, I don't know, admiration for my movies, and now it's great. It feels lovely to be easy on the eyes and get that kind of attention and love. I think that's the first thing that everybody wants when they want to become an actor. You want to become a famous person because you want people to, and also people to find you easy on the eyes. I would have never imagined myself that my first film I would wear those really tiny shorts, and that time trying to really maintain your diet, trying to figure out how to pose or get the correct angles. So it's a lot of effort that goes into it physically, mentally, trying to prepare yourself. Manish Malhotra comes into the styling. So when you have one of the best people in the business, trying to present you in the most attractive, desirable way, you kind of go with what they tell you to do.
But it feels like you've managed to sustain that kind of admiration that men and women all around the world have for you, because the men want to be like you, they want to look like you, and the girls want to be with you. And that is a very interesting position to be in. But how do you maintain that physique? How do you maintain that level of fitness?
Wow, actually there's a lot of work that goes into it, into fitness or sports when I was growing up, and that I was a model before, where I went into it just to make pocket money, and which is a very visual medium, which is only a visual medium, unfortunately. So and where you have to fit into these clothes and just look the part on the ramp. So when it came to movies, actually it became more difficult because I instinctively liked to do one film at a time, and which gave me enough time to transform myself. I think my first struggle to really look the part was during Brothers, which was just my fourth film, and I had to play an MMA fighter and pitted against Mr. Akshay Kumar, who's got years of work in action. So my director's one brief was, I just want you to look bigger than Akshay, tougher than him, so you can be a match. You need to look angry, you need to look bulky. So that was, I think, my first challenge to really change my look, be a little more aggressive, and gain like about 8 to 9 kilos of muscle weight, and yet not make him look, that menacing or not fit for being a hero. So 3 months, I took about 2.5, 3 months off. A lot of training with the MMA coach and gym coach. I used to spend about 6 hours a day training, 3 hours in the morning, 3 hours in the evening.
Wow.
About 6 meals. I was eating a lot of meat at that time. I had got this chef who was just making different meals for me to make it interesting.
That must be so exhausting as well, right?
It is actually. It makes you, now when I realize it, make me so sluggish.
Yeah.
It's not. I wouldn't recommend it to anyone to do it in such a short period of time. Your system goes under a lot of change. I even became aggressive at that time.
Really?
Because I think sometimes meat and other things and the kind of training you're doing makes you that.
These are the things, Sid, that nobody tells you before you get into this profession, right?
Oh yeah. And these are things you can't really prepare yourself, because, see, I keep saying that we are selling dreams and creating something, in characters and stories that you might aspire to be, or at least have a likability within those characters, whether they're strong characters, romantic characters, action characters. And for me, it's always like I have to look the part, look like somebody who's, say, from the streets, or really tough in like a film like Ek Villain, or really like a student in Student of the Year. It's a softer, more teenage look.
Yeah.
Whether it's getting the skin tone right, whether it's getting your weight right, haircut. I buzzed my hair for Brothers again. Ek Villain, I'd grown my hair, and that cut my hair. And I remember I was wearing a hair patch for some section of the film,
really?
which you guys don't realize. It was
No.
really good, because we had to shoot them simultaneously. And all my film looks have one element, which I change, whether it's my weight or my look. Whether it's Ittifaq, where I have to be a writer. It wasn't really about being really fit, but just looking like a regular guy, but yet sharp. And the film is also about one night, so it was easy to have that. Though I had a lot of blood all the time, because it starts off with a murder and an accident. And then even recently, I think my Marjama is the first film where I actually put extensions, and I had them
Wow.
on for 3 months. And I have a lot of respect for all the women who do that, man.
What's
Because
the process of putting extensions in?
it took me. I don't know what. It started off by my hair guy saying that nahi ho jayega, sirf give us like I'll take 4 hours. We'll start at 12 and we'll finish. We'll take a break and you can have lunch after that. Okay, great.
Yeah.
We started at 12. We finished at 10 in the night.
No way.
Because then you realize that every strand of hair needs to be pulled out and
Is it
glued.
painful? Is it a painful?
It's not
process?
painful.
painful?
It's just it is mentally painful.
Yeah.
No, it's not physically. Because it requires a lot of patience.
Patience.
And because men have shorter hair, so it's
Yeah.
more difficult.
Or no hair in my
And yeah,
in my example.
Well,
it's
not
still
extensions, bro, but there are a lot of other things you can use. But as I said, my doc told me that we're at the age where nobody needs to go bald.
That's also true.
You're looking good though. I think it's a
Suiting
nice
me.
rugged look.
No matter what you do, people always expect you to look amazing off screen. When this ad you're just shooting, we're on the sets of a commercial you're shooting, and you're playing yourself in this commercial, and you
Yes.
look really dapper. You're standing on these steps, and you look really cool, and you look like what people expect you to be like, which is always well turned out. Is there pressure on you off screen to maintain a certain image?
Actually, I have to first thank my parents for good genes, genetics, Punjabi genetics and genes. That's where it starts from. But otherwise, yes, I think now we're in the world of social media where everyone has a camera. Then they like to post it. They want to show where they are, who they're with. And I think yes, it's. I actually enjoy wearing certain kinds of clothes, or whether it's a certain fit or pulling off a look, because of my background in modeling.
Yeah.
We have a lovely team of stylists who now know your style and can adapt to it within like a day. So I wouldn't say pressure, but I feel it's the need of the hour, and I think we are in the business to be desirable, to have that aspiring quality that it's like how I was when I saw growing up, when I saw Shah Rukh
Yeah.
in Kuch Kuch Hota Hai, or when I see Mr. Bachchan movies. Look at the lights that he pulled off in Sara Zamana. That's part of the business. We as an audience like to see our heroes and other actors wear something or do something that is very aspirational. And I'm trying my bit to be that and do that.
But one thing that I think often gets ignored is male grooming in this industry.
Ooh.
Do you have to get waxed? Do you have to get your eyebrows threaded? How often do you have to trim your beard? Like, how do all these things work?
Oh no, I've never gotten waxed, though it sounds really painful, and I have respect for men who do that.
You've
but
never got waxed?
No, I like to use an electric trimmer.
Okay.
Which does the job, or a particular soft, maybe, I don't know, like, what do you call it? Yeah, trimmers only.
Yeah.
Which really take it out and do the job. But I think, yes, a lot of pain that goes into. For me, actually, it starts off from a very holistic way, from, say, a health point of view.
Right.
It's what I consume. I think if you got your core really strong, not like the physical core, but your core in your diet, in your rest, in your workout, to balance out your stress levels. It's because if you're stressed, it all really shows on your face.
Yeah.
If you haven't really slept well, if you're eating the wrong food. So I think if you've got your ingredients right as to what you put into your body, everything else follows, whether it's having a good physique, whether it's having clear skin or good hair. But the other grooming aspect, yes, I mean, moisturizing comes in, using the correct products which suit your skin play a vital role. I feel for men, I think haircut is the only thing that we can play around with.
Yeah.
And facial hair now. It's become
It's
become
trendy.
a thing. It's
Yeah,
trendy.
of
It's
course.
trendy. Like, everyone having a certain length. And what else? I think, yeah, it's. I won't say, as I said, I think we're in the age of metrosexual, or I think when I started off, it was in the early age of being little. Grooming was little cool, but yet you need to be masculine. But now I think I've seen men, getting really expensive. What do you call, manicured beards?
Yeah.
Buzzed. actually keeping short hair is far more painful, man. I've got buzzed hair in a couple of films, like Brothers being one.
Yeah.
And I used to get one like every third day.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
it's
like
more
a shape
painful
up,
to
a
keep.
fade. Yeah.
People don't realize. I think it might look cool and rugged at that time, but there's a lot of effort that's gone into it.
You are a sex symbol for many girls around the world. Like, because of that, do you feel like it's harder for you to do roles which require you to look different?
Well, I think in my case, I've always tried to break that mold of me just, doing roles which is all about looks.
It's hard for you though, no? Because you're a model, or because you were a model.
Yeah.
And because you have had the experience of people judging you for the way you look as well. When
Bronzed in, it's
Yeah.
all sweaty, it's all gritty, where I'm like, dude, I don't want to do my hair up on set. I don't even want, perfect makeup, or give me patchy, put me like in... I used to put dark circles, I used to have mud on me in Equivalent, that was my third film.
Yeah.
To break that, because I wanted to break everything that they liked, and admired, whether it's, I wore one outfit in Equivalent, if you realize, one black suit, scruffy hair all the time, I had a scar on my face, I had tattoos.
But girls like that. Come on, you have to admit, girls like that in that film.
Well, I mean, I wasn't going for it. I was trying to break all the molds that they liked it, but it doesn't. I think in every character, if it's aesthetic, if it's somebody who you feel is easy on the eyes, it helps. But I think very early in my career, I have let go of that. Like, I don't look at roles and or my shot from a point of view like, is it looking good? Because not that I'm saying that it's always there, but I feel I'm aspiring for the other side, where it's they look beyond the physical aspect.
They look at your performance.
Whether it's a dialogue, whether it's an expression, whether it's a scene. So I think and I'm pretty satisfied with the kind of roles that I've gotten. I think none of my two films look the same.
No.
They're all from a different world.
I feel like you're making a conscious choice to do that, though.
Of course.
Yeah.
I think I always tend to choose something which is different from my previous film, whether it's a world or whether it's a character. That is how I am as a person. I like to keep changing my hairstyle, my beard, my look, even my weight. Like right now, what you're seeing me is I was extremely... I had to lose a lot of weight for my film Sher Shah.
Yeah.
Where that his journey is from... his teenage till 24.
Right, because I was about to say that you look like you're back in Student of the Year right now. Like,
Well,
this is the
because I had to
youngest
play-
I've seen you looking.
So then I had to play that character in college. I
Right.
had to play a boy into 1920 again, and unfortunately, it's a very sad story that his life he only lived till 24.
Right.
So that's in my 20s, at least a decade lesser than what I am right now. So I had to lose all the weight. I changed my diet for it. Changed my workout regime. And that's where I think your basis is, especially for men. I think if we are really conscious of what we consume and give a workout for a kind of look, I think you can achieve it. And I change everything every 3 months. Right now I'm vegetarian, vegan because I don't consume milk.
Right.
And but if you met me like 6 months ago, I was like hogging on chicken because I had to be beefy for an action film. So yeah, I think I like it myself. I think I don't get bored. Every time I look in the mirror, a different look and a different style.
Finally then, what's the one myth that you'd like to break that people believe about Bollywood actors and the way they look? What's the one thing that you think people assume about Bollywood actors and the way they look, which just isn't true?
Well, I think people have this notion that everything is done for us, or it's so easy. We have this massive team behind us. Yes, of course. Every team has a department, but actually our job doesn't end when we go back home. We're in a profession where we take our jobs back home, because even though we're not performing, but we're either preparing, we're either on a diet, we have to follow a regime. So we're constantly taking our work back home. So there is no time off, even on a weekend. We are under the restrictions of a character, especially in our generation, at least I would say. All of us are so conscious of looking the part that we are constantly just, restricted in a diet and working. So I think it's a misconception that, the typical misconception that it's all easy for us. And I don't know what are the other misconceptions, and I'll tell you if I break it.
Well, firstly, I think the misconception is what you just said, that it's an easy life, because it clearly is not. I mean,
No,
we're
it doesn't
sitting at
stop,
2
man.
a.m. I think what I
Exactly.
don't know what the time
So
is.
yeah,
like-
guys, I just finished an ad film, and we're at like 1:30 in the night, and we are right here in my vanity.
Yeah.
This is your first interview in somebody's vanity van?
First interview in your vanity van.
Oh, okay,
for
you've
sure.
done it
Yeah,
before.
yeah.
Okay. So maybe the few ones in my vanity van. Every day is different. Every day comes with meeting different people, doing different jobs, different timings. Yesterday I was sleeping at this time. Tonight I'm right here giving this interview, and we're in Film City, and we are talking about movies. So it's exciting. I don't think boredom kicks in anything in the movie business, for actors at least, because we're constantly doing different things. But that's also the challenging part, because once you get used to one routine, it's time to change it again, man. So it's painful.
But listen, I can see why you do it, because you're doing
Yeah.
very, very well. And I've known you since the start of your career, and I've seen you come on leaps and bounds. So thank you much for giving me your insights and your tips to the trade, really. Your tips and tricks to the trade.
I know, hopefully.
Sidharth, such a pleasure as always. Thank you.
Thank you so much, guys.